Hello, class. I'd like you to imagine being in a happy relationship and ready to take that relationship to the next step and have children, but you are unable to because one or both of the members in the relationship are infertile. The options for having a child are limited, but surrogacy is an option where at least one of the intended parents can be biologically related to the child. Some people like that the child would be theirs, and others would be happy to just raise a child from birth as their own, whether or not it's related to both parents. So to begin, first you must know what a surrogate mother is. A surrogate mother is someone who volunteers to carry and birth a child for an individual or couple that are struggling with childbirth themselves. There are two types of surrogacy, traditional and gestational. In a traditional surrogate mother, the individual who volunteered to carry the child is inseminated with the sperm of the intended parent. Intended parent is referring to the people struggling with childbirth. The woman carrying the child would be the child's biological mother. In a gestational surrogate mother, the egg and sperm from the intended parents are used and artificially inseminated in the volunteer. In this instance, the biological parents would be both of the intended parents. Surrogate mothers grant hope to those who are members of the LGBTQ+ community and those who are not in a relationship but feel they are ready for a child on their own. Same-sex couples and single parents who want to have their own children and like to be the biological parent to the child can turn to surrogate mothers. Surrogacy should be seen as a positive topic and there should be no controversy about it. To begin, I would like to talk about the process to surrogacy. Surrogacy is an option for people who cannot have a child the traditional way. The process begins with choosing if surrogacy is the right choice. The choice to be a surrogate is difficult and life-changing. They are committed to carrying a child and being connected with that child and sometimes even being the biological mother of said child, and once the birthing process is over, they give that child up to the intended parents. The choice to choose surrogacy is much easier than being the surrogate. Usually, it's because they are unable to have children on their own. It comes down to children or no children. Some people want to expand their family and have always wanted children, and learning that they are infertile can be heartbreaking. This option allows the child to be biologically related to the intended parent. Sometimes family members or friends volunteer to be the surrogate, and this makes the process much easier and cheaper. The second step would be to choose what type of surrogacy, traditional or gestational. Once they have made the decision, they must also hire a surrogacy professional to continue. There are two choices of surrogate professionals. One option would be a surrogate agency. Agencies are more used when the intended parents do not know the individual who volunteered to carry the child. Agencies will provide assistance in all of the legal steps in surrogacy. The other option is surrogate attorney. Surrogate attorneys are more personal than an agency. They will help draft the legal documents but also assist you through the legal process. Oftentimes, if you work with a surrogate agency, they will provide a surrogate attorney. The surrogate must also agree with the choice of traditional or gestational surrogate. This usually is not an issue because in most cases, friends or family volunteer or the surrogate professional finds someone who meets the requirements of the intended parents. The next step would be to find a match. This is done by the surrogate professional. They can find a match unless someone has volunteered that meets the requirements of the parent/parents. Once a match has been found, legal requirements must be met. A legal contract must be drafted. Attorneys from both parties must be present to draft the contract. The attorney of the intended parents will establish them as legal parents of the child in the first trimester, allowing the intended parents the parental rights to the child. The final steps include the actual insemination and finally the birth of the child. Surrogate mothers are important because not all people are able to have children. The National Institute of Health, NIH, states that 9% of men and 11% of women experience infertility. Those numbers may seem small, but when compared to the population of just Wisconsin, it translates to 521,000 men and 637,000 women who are infertile in just Wisconsin alone. Those people experiencing infertility have only a few options for their children. A few of the options include fertility drugs, medical procedures, donation of sperm, egg, or embryo, surrogacy, and adoption. Some of the options are not exactly 100% going to work out. Some of them may provide false hope, and some have long and intensive background checks. All of the options are going to be relatively expensive, but surrogacy has a higher chance of working because the surrogate is supposed to be fertile and have had children in the past. This option provides a less stressful experience for couples or individuals trying to have a child. Not only are surrogate mothers important to couples struggling to have children, but some same-sex couples or members of the LGBTQ+ community also struggle with having children. Adoption is always an option, but the issue with adoption is that neither of the intended parents will be biologically related to the child. Some people have no problem with this, but others do. Surrogacy can provide the lifelong dream of parenting a child from birth, which they may have thought to be impossible. LGBTQ plus couples face lots of discrimination, but fortunately, once the couple has decided who is going to be the biological parent and who the surrogate will be, the process is no different than any other intended parents in this situation. The same goes for single individuals who feel they are ready for a child and to become a parent. The process is easy for them because they are the only one who could be the biological mother or father because there is no partner in the picture. Once again, this provides a breath of fresh air for LGBTQ plus people, but also those who are single and ready for their own children. To conclude, I think surrogate mothers play an important role in our society. Growing a family is something many people look forward to later in life. Surrogate mothers keep that excitement alive for people struggling with having children. LGBTQ plus members obviously cannot have children the traditional way, and surrogate mothers give them an opportunity to have children and even be biologically related to the child. Likewise with single people hoping to have children. I hope this has helped you understand surrogate mothers more so. Thank you.